5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Flat right over crest into flat left.
So today what we're going to do, we are going to do a rear subframe and rear differential swap on the Impreza, and it's going to be getting TSS subframe, TSS fab subframe, TSS fab rear trailing arms, and rear knuckles and trailing arm mounts. A lot of stuff from TSS fab, which they're fantastic for what they do. So that's what we're doing today. That's what we're going to get done. Getting it ready to do also some brake hoses. So that's what we're doing today. All right. So one of the first things to do, I'm going to take the brake caliper off. I'm going to take the whole subframe down as one unit instead of parts of it. So got to disconnect, take the brakes off, take the shocks off, and then we'll go from there. Brakes are 14 millimeter bolts to get those off. May need to use a little extra force to get them. Those are just going to get zip tied up to the brake or the strut towers or the struts, so that way they can be out of the way when I swap the whole subframe out. Since I don't have e-brake innards, the drum brakes, I can just do that whole bit and drop that whole thing out. But also going to loosen everything because I'm going to need to take this apart when it's down on the ground. And if it's all tight, it'll be a lot harder to get at. So I might as well just loosen it all up. Put the bolts back in, that way I have them. There we go. Get that out of the way. These I found that 7/8 seems to be the best as far as that goes. Use the body of the car as my advantage. And this may need extra. Anyway. Work from that. Some of it, though, does require heavier duty stuff. If it'll do it. There it goes. short bolt, which also means you gotta keep the orientation correct. All right at the axle boot. Next, I'll loosen what's called the bitch bolt. That is the worst bolt on a Subaru ever. It's this guy. I put 1719 weight. The Jesus bolt, the bitch bolt. Either way, it is one of the most problematic bolts. Because of what it does and what it is. It's for suspension, so it needs to be tight. But definitely needs to be taken down. At least in this instance, loosened up. There. Then trailing arm, which is a 17, of course. Some more. Good. That's bigger. Here for the trailing arm as well. For what I'm doing, the trailing arm can come out all the way. No problem. Because it is getting replaced with a TSS Fab one. Keep all the associated hardware close by, just in case. Go. That one's loose.
These rear knuckles are probably due for a change anyways. They're getting a little bit worn down right here. It's all good though. That's what rally's about. Just need to loosen it up. I can do the rest on the ground. These take 17mm bolts. Rear bar. There we go. Left always works. These trailer mounts can come all the way off because they're getting replaced. Sometimes when they get hard, you have to work them back and forth a little bit. See no buzzing. Run the threads through a couple of times. There we go. Clean all those threads out before everything goes back together unless I've got new bolts. Might come with a kit. It gets hard again. There we go. All 3 bolts done. Let's put them back in the respective holes for right now. I may run those, run a tap through those to clean them out. Yeah. Well, that's one side loosened up, ready to go for stuff. There we go. That shock is done. Out for that one.
Next thing, to remove the differential nose cone housing thing as far as that goes. This is the last thing to come out before the rear end drops down. I did the passenger side already. Didn't video it because it's the same thing as the driver's side. There's no difference between the two. So, that's the point of making you sit through me working on those again. But now, this is for the nose of the differential. To undo that, it's just 4 17mm nuts. It may want to drop slightly as you're doing this because it is supported by the T-bar as well. I'm going to go about this a little differently when I go back together with it. It's going to go a piece at a time instead of the entire thing. These are just studs that sit up on top of this T-bar. Almost like subframe studs on the front. There we go. All 4 of those are out. Don't put the bullet nuts back yet because it has to slide off the studs. The subframe bolts right there, 2 on each side. Looks like actually 3. There's 3 holes there. $17. That doesn't look like it's connected, so it's just 4 bolts each side. Let's see what we get. Definitely tight. But not terrible. Loosen them all first. Go to the other side. They don't break. Now here's where the bitch of it goes. Every project, no matter what you do, you're always going to run into something. One spot that won't allow you to continue on without doing something else. Subframe on the passenger side. The bolts are still in the nuts. The nuts have broken free from the inside of the frame rail. So being that that is the case, we got to do some other measures. Mainly, the TSS subframe comes with its own bolts, which that's a plus sign. The subframe bolts that are in the the actual frame rails of the car, those bolts are in there. The nuts are captive nuts. Those have been broken free from the internal part. So that means that I'm going to have to drill a hole in the frame rail after I cut the bolts off and drop the subframe out. Then we can start working on that, because I can go up through it, punch from the bottom to get my spot, and then I can drill what I need to drill, where I need to drill to go through to create that hole. The TSS subframe comes with its own bolts, which is awesome, but then I'll need to put a nut and something there to keep a hold of it so that that way it doesn't come off. This is a race car, it is a rally car, it goes through a lot of abuse. Need to make sure that everything is going to do exactly as it needs to. So, yay! Time to get at it.
Oh. Got the rubber, not really got much else, but it's hot. big 10mm. That one's out. I'll go to the other side.
So it took a little bit longer than I wanted, but I cut the bolts free. I'm going to push those up into the frame rail so that way they'll be hidden, but I'll be able to use the hole to punch up through the bottom so that way I don't have to guess and try and figure out where it is in the trunk. But it is free. All three bolts that hold the subframe are out. The two center ones that give it a like support or whatever you want to call it, those are out. Now the subframe's free. Do some other stuff though. Oh. There we go. Loosened from the T-bar. Loosen it from the other bolts that are holding it in. Move it slightly. Get it out of the way of the gas tank. Fill neck. And down she goes. Slowly. There we go. Now she's loose. There. Now that I've got that out, I'll be able to work on drilling up through the bottom to get those bolt holes set to where I'll be able to gain access to the captive nut that broke the weld. There we go.